Welcome to PopXcast, a podcast that brings together the worlds of pop culture and science fiction in a way that breathes life into our inner child. From nostalgia to all things retro, pop culture news, film reviews, and the retro rewind, we explore all realms of geeky goodness. So find your comfy spot, top off your glass, and don't forget those pizza rolls in the air fryer because it's time for PopXcast. You are listening to PopXcast, where science fiction meets pop culture.
Here we go!
PopXcast.
I was born in it, molded by it.
PopXcast. No strings on me. Autobots, transform. I'm Batman. By the power of Grayskull. PopXcast.
We're doomed.
Goal here at Tyrell. More human than human is our motto.
Here's Johnny.
Never had a pet pony.
Hasta la vista, baby.
PopXcast.
Captain's log supplemental.
Negasonic Teenage. What the
I am the one who knocks.
Excelsior!
All right, Excelsior, what is up, Team PopX? Welcome to episode 145. It feels like we've not done this in a while. What's up with that?
It's been a minute, but
It's
I'm
been
glad
a
we're
minute.
back. We're back, baby.
We're back,
yeah.
baby. Cobra Kai, come on now. Yeah.
I missed you guys.
I've
I
missed
love
you
you
too,
guys.
Austin. Dude, how have you been, dude? You've been like, sail away, sail away, sail away. You've been rocking the waves and down under. Well, I want to say down under, but really it's Hawaii, which is kind of like United States version of down under, but really not really.
We were close to the equator.
Equator. Okay, that explains like you're 3 shades darker than you were when I last saw you. Yeah.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
it's,
just that lighting, but yeah.
Yeah, man. That lighting is pretty
I
fleek,
don't
actually.
tend
It
to-
is pretty dope.
Yeah.
I don't tend to leave the house very often, so when I go outside, it's going to impact my skin heavily. I went from the milk shade of white to whatever I am now, but it's slowly going back to
Yeah.
normal. I will be back in vampire state here
Okay.
in about 2 weeks.
All right.
Yeah, Hawaii was
That's fair.
fun. We had a wonderful time, and
Nice.
my wife said it's the best vacation she's ever been on, so it was
Oh.
worth the trip.
That's cool.
Awesome.
Well, congratulations to you. And I know that's not your first time going to Hawaii, but pretty awesome you got to take her out there and just let her see the beauty of that. But man, things have been really crazy busy in my world, and I know that especially with Lindsay. Lindsay's got a list a mile long of activities as her young ones continue to grow. And
Yes.
spoiler alert, kids do grow up.
It's unfortunate.
It is
It's
unfortunate.
also really cool.
but-
It's also really cool, though.
But like how I mean between your 2 kids, you've got so many activities going on. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm raising a full-blown ninja, and I have a pom girl, and it's football season, friends. So it is definitely busy in the house of Badger. But we did take some time out today to escape to the state fair today. They got to ride rides, and we got to see little baby chicks, and
That's awesome.
the whole experience of state fair.
That's so
It's
cool, man.
worth
I love a good state fair.
Getting all that good food.
Yeah.
The
They
good
usu-
food that's really bad for you, but it's really good.
They usually put me out in the hay bale and take my shirt off and said $5 to pet a pig. So,
Oh my gosh.
So that's usually where that comes from.
That's hilarious.
That originated in.
Right.
Well, my kids learned that goats actually have milk, so that was a learning experience today.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
they're like, I didn't know they had milk. I'm like, all
I'll drink to
mammals.
that.
All mammals.
Mm. You ain't lived. He had a pint of
Anyways,
goat
enough
milk.
about my children's education.
Oh man. Well, we've all been busy. I mean, I know Austin. He literally maybe sleeps 30 minutes a day between everything that he watches. It's just I don't even know how you absorb all that information, brother.
And he's a jet setter in between trying to, watch
I don't know
literally
how you do
everything
what
in
you do.
existence.
I really don't. It just blows my mind. Blows my mind.
I don't. I choose not to sleep. I've slept more lately though. I'm trying to get back on a normal college schedule, which is still bad because I didn't get a lot of sleep in college. But it feels like ever since college ended, I have just solely focused on YouTube. So now, I'm trying to do the adult thing. I'm like a little bit of Madison, a little bit of my dogs over here, a little family time. The balance is still hard.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to balance better. But man, there's a lot of of stuff. I mean,
John Poffenbarger says you're a Terminator. I kind of agree with him. I believe there's a silicone implant in there somewhere.
I think that's legit.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, when I get to binge Cobra Kai and get to review that as a job, that's when the job's good, man, because something like this show, the reason why we're doing this episode, that makes it worth it at the end of the day.
I couldn't agree more.
That's definitely a highlight.
I couldn't agree more. Well, with that said, guys, catch up. We're alive and kicking. We're just busy, but we're back. So, Austin Burke, if you'd be so kind, let's go ahead and open up the show and get this ball rolling.
Absolutely. So, what's up? Welcome to PopX, where science fiction meets pop culture. I'm Austin Burke, certified film critic and YouTuber extraordinaire. Ooh, I like that. I didn't write that. I like that.
Change up.
You're no longer the Appalachian geek at heart, especially now you have like 150,000. No, you're credited, bro. You're no more Appalachian geek at heart. You are global. We are worldwide. Worldwide.
That makes me so happy.
I know.
Y'all make me tickled. I'm tickled right now. All right.
Tickle something anyway.
Tickled to death. We'd like to welcome everyone.
Go tickle Elmo here in a minute.
Tickle me, Elmo. We'd like to welcome everyone joining us live in the PopX.live chat room. Come hang out with us. Join the conversation at PopXcast.com. If this is your first time tuning into PopX, the first 10 to 15 minutes, we run down the headlines since our last show, and then we deep dive into all things nostalgic on the retro rewind. Then at the halfway point, we hit on the show's topic, and like I said today, that's Cobra Kai. So we have a really cool show lined up, and I'm excited to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you back, bro. I tell you. And I appreciate you. I know you got a very busy and hectic schedule. The fact hour and a half, you come hang with us on this Rugby podcast live stream, that means a lot to me. But I am Joseph Burke, Central Florida's seasoned comic book nerd and retro enthusiast. Also join Lindsay and myself over on the Twitchverse. We both stream in a network called the Creative Multiverse. She is at Badger Makes. I am at Joseph Burke Arts. So you can catch us streaming. Be sure to catch our accounts over on Twitch to see when our streaming schedules are. But we would love for you to just come and join us and watch some really cool art being made. If you want to be part of the creative collective of the Creative Multiverse, there is a Discord link to your bottom right. Just scan that while we're live streaming here. Go straight into our Discord channel.
And you guys, I'm Lindsay Badger, your favorite geeky yoki. I'm still here and kicking with the boys. If you guys missed last episode, I know it's been a minute.
It has been a minute.
You may not have remembered what we talked about. We did throw down and break down bit by bit, piece by piece, Thor: Love and Thunder.
We did.
Which was such a fun movie. It's been a minute.
It has.
I feel like that's been so long ago. And then we also did a little, we always be kind, we always rewind. Last episode, we rewound, the retro rewind was Footloose.
Mm-hmm.
What a fantastic movie.
Great film.
I absolutely love watching. I don't get tired of watching that film. But if you want to hear what else we thought about either of those movies, make sure you go back and watch episode 144. And you can check out all of our other episodes, including that one, over on our official website, PopXcast.com.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you're liking what you're seeing here tonight, if you're liking what you're hearing over here on the podcast, peeps, make sure you're hitting those buttons that subscribe, follow, like, share, write those reviews, hit those 5 stars, give us the love, and let us know what you're thinking about the content that we're putting out there.
Hit them buttons.
Hit down the button.
Smack
Click
them
all the
buttons. Hit all the
Preferably
buttons.
the positive ones.
Yeah,
not
the
negative.
positive ones. Well, guys, are you ready to run down some headlines?
Yeah.
Okay, don't go anywhere. Headlines coming your way.
Extra, read all about it. This is PopX News, coming to you live right here on PopXcast.com.
All right, Austin, you got some interesting news here from the world of Lucasfilm and all that crazy stuff. What you got?
Well, this is
A little bittersweet.
this is sad news.
A little-
All right.
Yeah.
But it's good news at the same time. So Darth Vader's James Earl Jones signed off on AI technology to recreate his voice. So James Earl Jones has loaned his voice to the character since the first time Darth Vader appeared on screen, and he technically voiced him in Obi-Wan Kenobi the series. Previously, there were reports that Lucasfilm was using a voice AI to replace Jones in his voice for the future, and it seems the actor has approved that move. During a new interview with Vanity Fair, the people behind the AI revealed that Jones has signed off on the technology and even advises them on it. So he still plays a role, even though it's not technically his voice. He's 91 years old, my God.
Yeah.
Apparently the 91-year-old actor is ready to retire from voicing the character and has agreed for the company to use his voice. He mentioned that he was looking into winding down this particular character. Matthew Wood told the magazine, "So how do we move forward?" Jones is also credited for guiding the Vader's voice performance on the series, and Wood even called him a benevolent godfather.
Wow.
So a future where James Earl Jones will always be Vader, even though not technically him. But this is, I think, a beautiful way to keep this character alive.
Oh,
in,
yeah.
You're
in the,
establishing
in the
a
future series.
legend that's going to
Yes.
live way beyond
Yes.
just
And
one human.
if you go if you go back and listen to the voice acting, specifically in the Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series, that James Earl Jones sounds like the 70s 80s version of a James Earl Jones, not the. I mean, if you hear him in Coming to America 2, you can hear it. His voice does not have the depth and the clarity. I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. My goodness, he's 91 years old.
right.
And so it just, you can, if you go back and listen to it, it's all I'm saying, it sounds like the New Hope Darth Vader. Very clean,
Absolutely.
a very crisp, a
more
very youthful.
refreshed, renewed.
Yeah, kind of a youthful vocal tone.
I think this is such a wonderful time technology-wise to be
Yeah.
able to encapsulate such a beloved character's style
Mhm.
Yeah.
well beyond just because James Earl Jones, his voice is so unique.
It's very unique.
He played tons and tons of different characters, and that voice is just so unique and sought after. Think about other actors that have similar voices that are
Yep.
so iconic, and to have this technology available to be able to capture that and to be able to utilize it to where they're continuing their legacies as well. I see this as just being like a roadmap for other applications in the future.
And the possibilities of what could be. ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, and Lucasfilm, they have some amazing technologies that they use, and they're they are one of the leading studios in the world in terms of visual, audio, and just any kind of CGI or practical effects. ILM's got it, and so I think it's a beautiful way to just pay homage to James Earl Jones, his legacy. And I just think it's really awesome. I think it's more powerful for him, the fact that he signed off on this.
Yeah,
It just
I
speaks
agree.
volumes. It speaks volumes
I
about
hope
him.
the fan base is supportive in this move too, and look at it more as a legacy establishment more than just trying to make money off of something that may not be around forever.
I agree. Yes. Well, what do you guys think about this? You think, how do you feel in the chat? James Earl Jones and Morgan Freeman are the voice king. I couldn't, you know why?
You know what? I would throw Benedict Cumberbatch in there as well on that list. He's
look at
not
Jeremy.
nearly as known, but
Yeah.
I would definitely put him in that
Jeremy
list.
says Sean Connery would have been
That
great.
would have
been iconic.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery shaking, not stirred, money.
very unique voice
Well,
tones.
we're going to switch things up here in terms of video game world news. You may know him from the Twitchverse, but you may know him from other places. Dr. Disrespect, world famous live streamer, calls Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is the SBMM. He calls that horrific. What is SBMM, and what does it mean in terms of the future? Skill-based matchmaking. So basically, here's what happens. Here's what happens in the game really quick before I read the article. Basically, if you're playing a game online and it goes by your kill death count, and that's your skill level, it tries to put you in lobbies that match your skill level. But 80% of the time, it goes caca. And you're put into lobbies with pro players who do this for a living, and you ended up basically spawn die. They gotta
get that sorted.
Call of Duty is back with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It's a multiplayer mode currently in beta right now this weekend, which means that the related topic back in discussion as well. It's skill-based matchmaking. That's the big topic right now. Often abbreviated as SBMM and complained about just as often, the matchmaking system that's employed by numerous competitive games attempts to group players together based on their skill levels. Now, streamers, more casual players alike, have already come out in force against SBMM, once more with Dr. Disrespect blasting the implementation as quote-unquote horrific as players echo similar sentiments. Now, the streamer would... who used the work... he used to actually work at Activision at Call of Duty. He was involved in Advanced Warfare, and I believe... what was it, Black Ops 2, if I'm not mistaken. So Dr. Disrespect is an actual game developer himself, and he worked at Sledgehammer Games, and he's been streaming Modern Warfare 2 on and off recently, just trying to play the new game, and as players are obviously flocking to the beta to try it for the first time. During one of those streams where he played with FaZe and another live streamer, Tim the Tapman, very famous streamer if you don't know, he complimented parts of the game, but criticized the SBMM, and I think it feels really good. Dr. Disrespect began, but it looks good. I like the direction they're going with some of the weapons and the attachments and the way that they're handling the weapons. I can't really speak into Warzone 2, but for the most part, the map design is cool. But man, that SBMM is horrific. So, if you don't know, guys, Activision has created this algorithm. It's exactly what it is. It's an algorithm that puts you in... Now, this may work on other games, like if you're playing like Elder Ring or something like that. But in competitive first-person gaming, SBMM is almost like a death sentence.
Yeah. I'm not super familiar with SBMM style things or first-person shooter, but I assume that this technology has existed prior to this particular...
No. Activision is the first to implement and code it. Yes.
SBMM stuff?
Whoa.
Okay.
Yes.
Shoot.
And they also invented...
That's like some huge
Now,
stuff.
here's something else that's even more questionable. Activision launched earlier this year Ricochet. Ricochet, if you are a hacker, listen to what this does. It's embedded in the game, and it looks at your video card ID serial number. And if you're hacking, it disables your video card.
Oh, shoot.
I am not lying. It will literally disable your video graphics card, and your computer is essentially dead until you buy a new video graphics card.
That's nuts.
Now, that's happened many times to many streamers because, they're hacking, they're using cheats, and when the algorithm and the software does what it's supposed to do, yep, it happens. But anyway,
wowzers.
Modern Warfare 2 may be a hit, it may be a split. We don't know just yet.
Well, I mean, it's still in beta, so
I just rhymed. I did a trifecta rhyme. It may be a hit, it may be a split. We'll just have to wait. Yeah, anyway.
All right, T-Pain, calm down.
Thanks, man.
Anyways.
I get excited over rhymes. It's a little
I know. You also get excited over Call of Duty stuff too. So I'm glad that you got to share that with us. And that's some awesome tech. I hope they get...
It's incredible.
They need to figure it out.
I'll know they'll get it sorted eventually, and then that's going to be like like the model moving forward for future games on how to do a more fair matches for first-person shooter games. So I love the direction they're going with that. I just you're gonna have to have some nasty moments with video games to work out all the kinks of
you
that.
are agreed.
It'll turn out. It'll turn out.
Well, Lindsay, you got the next one, so just keep rolling.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk a little bit about what Warner Brothers has been up to. They are developing a new Constantine movie.
I'm all right with that.
For Keanu Reeves, baby. He's back. I love it. Okay, so back in 2005, way back in the day, Keanu Reeves headlined Constantine in the first ever live-action portrayal of DC as John Constantine. However, the film failed to ignite the box office and finished with the OtterBox, and finished with only $76 million domestic and $230 million worldwide. Regardless, the movie was largely embraced by Reeves fans and does have a cult following. I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Now it may also have a sequel. The Deadline is reporting that Warner Brothers is developing a new Constantine movie for Reeves to reprise his leading role after nearly 2 decades. Additionally, Reeves will re-team with his original Constantine director, Francis Lawrence, and that was also Lawrence's first feature film, and he subsequently helmed I Am Legend, Water for Elephants, Red Sparrow, and the majority of the Hunger Games movies. That's a mighty fine list of.
But listen to this
right
next
there.
part. Listen to this next part.
J.J. Abrams and Hannah Minghella.
What?
Are producing the film through Bad Robot. Oh my God, Bad Robot is so good. In association with Akiva Goldsman. Sorry, Weed Road Pictures, and Goldsman is also slated to write the screenplay. Man, there's some heavy hitters on this project, dude. The involvement of Abrams is somewhat surprising because he was developing a Constantine TV series for HBO Max. Reeves' return to the role suggests that HBO Max project probably won't happen.
Yep.
Which I'm okay with, because it sounds like, man.
It's interesting. Like,
dude, Keanu Reeves is such a badass.
Keanu's great. I love Keanu. I mean,
such a badass.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see just what he's doing. I mean, you guys know it's the big hit that we all love is coming out very soon. Have they dropped a trailer to that yet?
Wait, which one now?
The what is the fighting one? Shoot.
Oh, John Wick.
Yeah. What did it? We got 3, right? So this is 4 coming out.
Yeah, this is 4. So they delayed the movie, but we got a trailer, which was really, really early because the movie doesn't come out for another year. But we do have a trailer, and I can tell you,
it's
from
good.
what I've heard about the 4th movie, they're saying the 4th movie could be the best of the 4.
Good grief.
That's what everybody's saying. Who's already seen test
That's a
screenings.
little bit of a different pattern for movies.
Yeah,
that's a bold statement.
Amazing franchise. Yeah,
that's a bold statement. Well, guys, I mean, I'm all on board. I actually just recently watched the Constantine movie. It's been a while since I visited that property. I actually liked it. I mean, the CGI does show its age a little bit. I mean, we don't have the modern CGI that we have today, but it would be awesome to see Keanu Reeves back in this role as an older, scruffy John Constantine. I mean, I think that'd be great. So I just love that whole dark vibe of Justice League Dark with Swamp Thing and Constantine and just all of those amazing characters of the Dark Universe. I think that's cool. But with all of that said, we're gonna switch on over into the retro rewind here. I know that there's been so much go on since we last streamed. Of course, we had D23, we had San Diego Comic-Con, we had some amazing trailers, amazing MCU Phase 6. I mean, it's just there's so much going on right now.
There's a lot.
It's a great time to be a nerd. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
But with all that said, you guys ready for a little retro rewind as we talk about Teen Wolf?
Let's do it.
All right, don't go anywhere. Retro rewind is coming your way right now.
Retro rewind. Retro rewind. Retro rewind.
All right, retro rewind, and I got to say, Lindsay Badger picked this one, and I'm over the moon about it.
Oh my god.
I just did it. How
I get it.
over the moon about it. I mean, I'm just here all the time, guys.
Oh my.
But you picked this one, and this was one that was really off my radar. I kind of forgot about it. It's perfect for Halloween season.
It definitely, yeah. I was trying to find something that wasn't like super duper scary because I don't like that stuff.
Yeah.
But I did want to have a little fall flavor
You
mixed
did,
in.
You
for
did
the,
so
for the month.
good. This movie harkens back to such an amazing time in my life as a kid growing up in the 80s. Huge fan of Michael J. Fox, obviously. And I remember owning this. The VHS box was completely yellow. And it had his picture on it with him opening up, his vest, the beaver high, and his fur was coming out and all that stuff. His high school is Beaver High School, but it was interesting. Play
Go
on
Beavers.
words. Yeah, go Beavers. It was for me. Actually, I want to save my interview. I want to hear Austin's review of this classic.
Yeah, let's do
I want to
that.
hear what you got to say, Austin Berg.
Yeah, this was one that I remember watching a few times growing. I remember watching 2 or 3 times, and it's one of those that Mom and Dad would turn on occasionally around Halloween, and it's the perfect time to rewatch this film. It's definitely not one that ages as well as some of the other movies we've talked about, unfortunately. I felt some pacing problems. I felt some issues with, whether it be the music kicking in the background, just like kind of awkward moments, and the fact that everybody in high school looks like they're about 50 years old. And let's be honest, that one dude had more hair on his arms than I could ever dream of having. I'm like, that dude's not 17. But, and I'm not talking about the wolf, I'm talking about the man. But I did have some fun with this movie. And I think it all starts with Michael J. Fox and his... And this was around the time when, and I know, Joe, you've got this in the notes, but it's funny because it felt like he blew up all at once. Going back through his history and looking at what he was, and then all of a sudden, he's everywhere.
85.
And he's like, it was 85.
85,
he's
man.
The man.
Yeah.
But no wonder, right? Because his charisma in this role, the fact that, you buy the awkward stages, you buy pre-Wolf and post-Wolf. And, I could feel that his commitment to the role was allowing me to understand, okay, this dude has so much range in terms of conveying he can't get the girl, he can't do all these things, then all of a sudden he can. And I was so honed in and focused on his performance, and clearly the highlight of the movie. But there are also some iconic lines, the IRS is breathing down my neck, Bobby Finstock, like some lines that I were jogging my memory, like, okay, well, that's from this movie.
Yeah.
That's from this movie.
Yeah.
And that's from this movie.
Yeah.
So it's much more of an iconic movie, I think, than one that, I feel like is of the highest quality. But I was able to appreciate it for what it was, and I had some fun with it. And I like the story. It's a nice coming-of-age story, and there's some good lessons in there. So it's definitely one that holds a special place in my heart.
I agree. Lindsay Badger, what are your thoughts on Teen Wolf?
I remember watching this as kind of a regular, same time of the year, to kick off Halloween, your HBO and other TV shows just running them, all the different movies, and this was definitely a part of that mix. So it's your typical coming of age teenage cheese. It's not really
No, there's some cheese in there.
There's
some Swiss in
Parmesan
there.
cheese.
You're not going to offend me. You're not going to offend me.
But oh well, good.
Yeah.
I didn't know you made a movie. No, I'm kidding. But the overall story is really cute and charming, and it's written well enough that you actually become emotionally attached to the main character Scott, and you kind of start feeling for him, and but you also are enjoying that rebellious stage of the teenage life where they're doing the urban surfing on the van and that whole thing. That was super fun. I love his little sidekick buddy friend. He is just
Styles.
Styles. I love him. He's just a mess. Now I don't know if it's actually her, because I would have to look up Wikipedia or whatever, but I think is Emily Deschanel the lead for Bone series? You know.
Yeah, I know Bones.
TV
I know
series?
Bones.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the lead lady in that, I believe she is one of the teenagers that's holding the little top hat that they're drawing names out of.
Really?
In that party scene where they have to get the keg and bring it over.
I didn't know.
I
that.
think go back and look and check.
That's
me,
like
but I'm
that's like
pretty
Elijah
sure that
Wood.
was her.
That's like Elijah Wood in Back to the Future too.
Pretty sure that was her. But
You know?
I like that.
Yeah.
no.
That's
Anyways,
cool.
that's just a little nugget that I think was just like
No
I
nugget.
think that's her, but I'm not really sure it's her.
That's cool though. I mean,
Go back and check me and let me know if that's actually it or if I was just making
that's
that
kind of
up.
like
But-
me when I found out Molly Ringwald was in Jeffrey Dahmer's series. I'm like, boy, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway.
yeah, I mean, it was an overall enjoyable film. I love the dynamic with the principal. I'm keeping my eye on you. You know,
Yeah.
that whole thing. I love that whole dynamic. It's so fun. And then of course, the love interests and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a good time. It's a fun family film that you can enjoy with kids of most ages. I think that would be interested in it. It's not scary.
I'd say
at all.
PG-13 at least, Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's actually PG.
Is it PG?
I think it is. There's a couple of moments in there that I'm just like,
There's a couple of questionable moments in there, but I think for me, I have to echo a little bit of what Lindsay said. My mother used to work at a video rental store, and so she would bring me home all kinds of movies that she thought I would like. Nothing like gory or graphic or anything like that, but when fun movies like that came out, she would let me watch, and it was cool to see Teen Wolf. And of course, we had just literally, I believe Teen Wolf came out after Back to the Future. And
Yes.
he was filming Back to the Future, and in the middle of it,
after it, I think.
and so this was, like I said, Back to the Future was 1985, and this was the year that Michael J. blew up. I mean, it was just crazy. Emily Deschanel was born in '76, so I doubt that was her. Yeah, so
Well,
she would have been 10.
Maybe it was her mother.
Maybe it was her
sister.
mother somehow. But anyway,
Aunt.
auntie. But I think for me, the music is just so retro, and it's like the music can be over the top a little bit. I get it, especially like at the party scenes and stuff. It's a little weird, but I think overall, for me, I have a good time. I like the transformation scenes because as a kid, and a creative, I'm always like, how did they do that? And
Oh man, that the very first
the
one where he's
bubbles
like
on his
doing it for the
forehead.
first time is like
Yeah.
the little close-ups of the eye and everything. I was just like, oh,
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, it was cool, and I kind of like that part. And then the fact that Howard had opened up the door and he was a wolf as well in the bathroom scene. He's like, so hello, and he's like an older wolf with the gray hair, and it was all like funny and comical.
funny.
Such a great scene. But for me, I definitely do like Styles. Styles is one of the showstoppers. He definitely does kill it. But I think honestly, it's a great time. I think we can go into our review and give our honest review of this, and then we'll move on into Cobra Kai. Austin, what's your rating on Teen Wolf?
It goes 62.
Yeah,
With
that's
you know,
good.
it's definitely one that I'm more positive on than negative. But I would encourage everybody to go check it out. It's very authentic, and if you want to know Michael J. Fox, like how well-rounded of an actor he is, I think you should give this a shot.
Absolutely, Lindsay. 60.
I was having 72 in my mind, so
Yeah.
or 7.2, 72, whatever.
All right. So,
So
62,
yeah, it's a
72.
solid film. It's an enjoyable one.
Yeah, I'll go
Definitely
with
rewatchable for sure.
I'll go with a 75% on that one. I think just because it harkens back to more of my youth and my childhood. I connect with Teen Wolf just a little bit more, so there's a little bit of gravitas there. And I'm always a sucker for a good Michael J. Fox film. It doesn't matter what decade.
Love
he's
that
in.
guy.
Yeah,
Love that
I'm a
guy.
huge fan of Michael J. Fox. But
Love.
guys, what is your review of Teen Wolf? Have you seen it? I mean, I'm sure you've seen it, maybe, hopefully. We'd love to know what your score is. So if you want to rate it 1 to 100, where would you fall? Where would it land in your nostalgic repertoire of your memory cells? Where would you put it? So we want to know that. Drop it in the chat, or if you're watching on the replay, just drop it in the chat, and we would love to know. But with all that said, I want to share a couple things that you guys may or may not know about Teen Wolf. And this last one's going to floor you, okay? So Michael J. Fox became famous during the production of Teen Wolf. Family Ties was moved from moved to a Thursday night slot, which was prime time. When Thursday nights was the night to be on. and overnight rose from 12th to the second most watched sitcom on network television.
Dang.
Now, scenes became hard to film for Teen Wolf as girls would flock to the school where he was filming to try to catch a glimpse of the famed star, and even the extras were swooning over a little Michael J. Fox. And so the scene where he's transformed and he's walking down the hallway and he's high-fiving everybody, if you look closely at some of those girls, some of those reactions are probably pretty genuine, actually, because, you know, he rose up and then literally during all of this, he's filming, while he's filming Family Ties, he's doing night shots with Back to the Future. If you notice, a lot of the Back to the Future scenes, except for Hill Valley, is all at night. That was because of his Family Ties working schedule. Spoiler alert, if you didn't know that. All right, second one, Teen Wolf's most famous van surfing scene was based on something one of the writers actually did in college called urban surfing. There you go. Lindsay Badger nailed the terminology there. Now, here's the one.
He said it.
Here's the one that kind of, all right, it's I'm not going to show anything, but if you own the movie, you can find it yourself, but this is legit. It's confirmed. It's in the copy that you guys saw.
Okay.
Nobody noticed this naughty extra who was infamously exposed himself in the film until very much years later, after VH1 did a segment, and Now You Know, and this was one of the features on it. Did you know that there's a guy exposing himself in almost near the post credits of Teen Wolf? So
Oopsie.
Here we go. So it's at the end when the Beavers win the big game, and the cut scene to Harold Howard is walking down the bleachers, and the extra can be seen zipping up his fly with something there. We'll let your imagination fill in the gaps. We can't make this up, guys. I'm not joking. And if you want us to be specific, I went ahead and got the timestamp for you. It's at 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 55 seconds into the film. Freeze it, blow it up, put it on your fridge, and ask your wife, what is this?
I know what I'm doing after this.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so there you go. A little Teen Wolf nerd nugget for you. It is true. It is plausible, and it's a thing. So with all that said, you guys ready to do some Cobra Kai?
Oh my gosh, do or die. Let's go.
Yeah, just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. All right. Spoiler alert warning. If you've not seen Cobra Kai Season 5 in its entirety, we do highly advise you hit that pause button, whether you're listening on the podcast or you're watching on the live stream, because we're about to deep dive into all things Miyagi-Do.
Danger. You are about to enter a PopX spoiler alert. Beyond this point, there is no return. You have been warned.
You have been warned. The saga continues. Daniel LaRusso, Johnny Lawrence, Shozen, and now Terry Silver, John Kreese. The whole clan is here. We're having a party, y'all. It's Cobra Kai Season 5. And there is some cool moments in this season. My gosh. I mean, Lindsay, I'm going to open up with you.
Yeah.
Give
Okay.
us a little rundown, like a little synopsis from the Badger Makes world.
Okay, we'll pick up from season 4, where we have Miguel running off to Mexico to find his dad that he's never met. And we also have just finished doing the All Valley tournament, and Tori is named champion, and not in the correct, fair way.
Exactly.
And because of that reason, Miyagi-Do and also Eagle Fang had to close their dojos as part of the sensei bet agreement situation. So we're grappling with a lot of heavy things coming off of season 4 that we're trying to work our way through.
Mm-hmm.
And also the kids' romantic relationships are also a little challenged at this time too. So we're just coming into season 5 with a lot of questions about what's moving forward. And then so Johnny takes oh god, what's his son's name? Forgot now.
Oh, not Miguel. It's
Not Miguel, the other one. Why am I forgetting his name?
Oh man,
Robbie.
Robbie, thank you. Oh my gosh.
Thank you very much. God, is this a
That would've
podcast about
sucked.
Cobra Kai? Anyways,
Yes.
Robbie and Johnny kind of worked through their daddy issues on the road trip down to Mexico as they're looking for Miguel. And while we're doing that, Miguel is learning about his real dad and the reason why his mom had left him, and decided that he was just not a good guy himself as well. So that whole thing was all happy and rainbows at the end, and but not with Robbie and Miguel. Robbie and Miguel are still on not so good terms. But there's a lot going on there. And then whenever they come back home, Miguel is working through some relationship issues with. Why am I forgetting all these characters' names? There's a lot of characters' names to keep up with.
There's a lot of characters' names actually.
There's just a lot of turmoil between literally all of the children, and all the students are just
Robbie's got a lot to figure
at
out,
each other. Robbie actually, I think, is the most level-headed this season than any of the other characters.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's
It's just surprising.
It was such a maturity
Yeah.
about him this season than what we saw back in season 1 when he was just unhinged and off the chain. He has definitely found his chi and his groove in life, and just it's really about maturity this season.
I agree.
Growing, we've gone through a lot of crap. We're burying a lot of hatchets this season. There's a lot of just really good feel good stuff, not just between the kids, but also with the Johnny and
His girlfriend. Yeah.
yeah. They have
There's a
they have
lot
a
there.
little one on the way.
They
So
do.
Johnny, godly, he grew up too. He's doing that whole dad thing, and it was just crazy. You guys, I just got so excited about how much of a direction shift we had in this season, I think. And it being season 5, I was like, oh my God, they're going to drag this out. What in the world else would they come up with? We've already faced all the bad guys. We've already beat all the bad guys. And now where it's what's left?
I get it.
Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was just going into this season. I'm like, what direction could this go? And I was completely surprised.
Yeah. Well,
I was completely surprised.
they continually evolve the characters, the actors, and their roles. And I'm glad, I got to harken back to what John Pofferbarger in the chat says. I'm finally glad Robbie and Miguel are getting along.
Yes.
That's over with.
Finally.
Yes,
So
that
it was
a little much.
Yeah, it was a
Glad
little
they got
much.
to fight that out.
So, but I also feel that for me, it was kind of hit or miss, and you guys can agree or disagree. The one actor that's in the Cobra Kai that has this whole grudge, and he's training as hard as he can. What is his name? The little kid.
The little
Yeah,
kid?
the little guy. But
I think it's Kenny.
yeah, I think so.
Kenny.
I'm trying to look here online because there's just so many actors and actresses to keep up with.
I'm I need a cheat sheet.
Yeah,
for all
and I'm trying to find.
names.
I'm desperately trying to find one here, but anyway, I kind of felt that he evolved way too quickly as a professional.
He did.
Realistically, that would take 10, 15 years to get to the level, training in a dojo and competing.
Yeah.
And literally within 1 month, you're ready to compete in the All Valley or something. Well, what's up with that? You came from this little nerdy kid in season 4 being pushed into a locker and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden, just a few short weeks later, in terms of the concurrent timeline, if you will, of the Cobra Kai, it's wait, in the timeline, this is only just a few weeks later in season 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's going on here?
John is right. His name is Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny.
Or Kenny Payne, if you played by Dallas Dupree.
Yeah.
So I agree. That was a very quick character development to move that fast for such a young age.
And there was another thing too that I had an issue with, and it was the whole demise of Terry Silver. Why did he just want? Here's a problem I had. His whole thing was to get in this other organization so he can compete in this global tournament, right?
Right.
That's all he wanted to do. He could care less about the expanse. He just brought in these these professional dojo senseis, and he wanted to rise the cred, and then all of a sudden that kind of fell through, and that was the end of Terry Silver. Oh wow, you did some crooked stuff. You paid a guy off. Okay, handcuffs. He's going to jail. All of this build up.
I have a feeling he's going to come back.
Well, I mean, it's just for me.
I don't think he's done.
I hope he's not done, but for me, it just felt like
there was a lot of build up.
I felt deflated. I felt
sure.
deflated. I guess is a good term I'm trying to find. Is like, where's the battle, dude? You didn't. Well, I mean, there was a battle in his house, which was okay. It was a great battle cutscene with Chosen and Terry and Daniel. You know, Daniel 2.0 or whatever you want to call it.
The brother Anthony LaRusso, I had problems with him too. I felt like I knew that I saw the direction they were going with him, but I didn't necessarily feel like they fully brought that to a fruition for him. Yeah. I was like, he's not strong. He doesn't know how to fight. He's the brainy guy, right? To come up with the strategy of guard the eggs kind of concept.
Yeah.
But they never really went any farther beyond just the egg situation. And I'm like, I really wanted him to come in with some little bit more powerful role.
The only thing that was built up for was so they could guard the computer so Terry Silver could be ousted. Exactly. That was really it. And I was like...
That was like his own purpose, his whole purpose of being a part of this thing. Was
really, is that really part of Miyagi-Do? I mean, that's like, what is this? It didn't make any sense. And here's what I was thinking. If you go back to season 3 or maybe it's season 4 when Daniel-san goes back to Okinawa and he visits some of the old people. Remember, there's a different side of Miyagi-Do that has not been taught. The darker side where you can do the pressure points and stuff like that. I thought Chosen was going to explore that realm of Miyagi-Do, but I understand, it's more, your base is teens, your base audience is teens. Would they really understand the logistics of all of that? I mean, let's be honest, the American viewership is pretty much lack on brain cells these days. I say that respectfully, but just the quality of television has really dramatically gone down in the years past.
I want to hear what Austin has to
add.
I
do. I want to Austin, go for it. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, no, I agree with a lot of what you guys had to say. I think there are faults with... not necessarily the payoff as a whole, because I liked the final few episodes. I liked how brutal this season was. It was, you thinking a character's dead. Essentially. I thought Kreese was dead. I thought Chosen gets cut down the back and he's bleeding out in the water.
Oh my God. I swore he was dead.
I thought he was dead.
I swore he was dead until he showed up. I'm like, how? How did he not bleed out in the pool?
I couldn't believe. Now, part of me is I like that nobody died. Obviously I want them to come back, but I don't want them to be overwhelming with, we're going to make you think somebody's dead and then they're not going to die. Because they did that a couple times this season, which was good, and I appreciate that, but I don't want that to be a reoccurring thing as we go throughout future seasons. Yeah, it will, because I think the MCU has done that a few too many times for me. They do the fake out deaths, and I'm like, okay, I don't know.
The fake out deaths,
But, which I hate, man. I absolutely hate. But I appreciate the brutality behind this season. I really do. Now, in terms of those story points that you guys were talking about wrapping up, and I didn't quite love all of the storylines coming together, but I'm holding out hope that some of these things, like Joe, you mentioned Chosen coming in and bringing different techniques. I have a feeling we could see some of that in the future. And I have a feeling we could see maybe a different side of both dojos, because now Kreese is back. Kind of where we're going with the next season, they could bring a different dynamic. And I think dynamics are already starting to shift in this season because you have Robbie and Miguel. Now they're... Maybe. Now they're good. Now they're together, and they're that back and forth. It was entertaining for a long time, but that can get old quick. So I appreciate that the writers looking at this season and saying, we don't want this to get stale. We don't want this to get stale. So the fact that this season feels so distinctly different from last season, I really like that.
Yeah, I do too.
You have that villainous presence. Now, Kreese, he's a very distinct type of villain, an amazing villain. But Terry's, it's a different personality type. He is on a very determined mission, and he's going to do what it takes. But he's like Loki. He's got that tongue, man. Very manipulative, right? When he was convincing LaRusso's wife, I'm like, Oh, so
man, we need to talk about Amanda here in a minute because I don't know about her flip flopping.
Yeah,
that bothered me a lot.
She's all over the place, man.
Oof, she was all over the place. I agree, but I think that different type of villain here, man, I think that made this season very compelling compared to what we've seen from other seasons. So I like the brutality. I like the different feel to it. I like that it didn't all culminate with the big battle of all the dojos. I mean, it got a little bit of that, but it was different, So maybe we get back to formula next season, but I just appreciate the fact that they made this season feel a little bit different.
I couldn't agree more. And I think, honestly, obviously the good outweighs the bad in this season. Yeah, sure. I mean, we can sit here and pick apart the fact, all right, John Kreese just walked out of prison. Really? That just happened? But, in his own style, it's a very Kreese-esque. I mean, it's something that he would do. I mean, it's Cobra Kai,
And a thing that I did notice that this season is, though it still had there was not nearly as many flashbacks.
Right.
I mean, we still had the old John Kreese moment, and there was a
silver Kreese moment
with the guy that went up against Daniel.
Yeah.
And kicked his butt.
Which was good.
And
I like that.
The furniture store guy.
Yeah.
So, those were really our only two big flashback moments there. But I really enjoy those because it really ties the series back into those movies. And the movies are such a beloved piece. And they're making it such a real and authentic, moving on to the next generation that I really feel like having those nods are still a big part of what we're doing with this.
I agree. And
a big character shift with Tori too. We need to talk about that.
Yes, she's on the turnaround, and I believe so. There's a big question about Tori specifically is who is her mother? Because all we've seen is the legs in the bed. A lot of speculation were saying that her mother is one character, but that character ended up showing up in one of the scenes in Cobra Kai season 3. But the big thing is they think that it's actually Hilary Swank who played Julie Pierce in the next Karate Kid.
That would be a nice
because they thought, because we know that she is John Kreese's daughter, right? I think that's confirmed that she is. Is she adopted? Wasn't she adopted though by John Kreese? Or I can't remember the logistics on that actually.
I would have to go back and look, but there's some kind of tie there.
Yeah,
for sure. Other than just
I want to make sure we acknowledge the chat right quick, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining and just being a part of what we're doing here on PopX.live. I want to go over to Parker X. Who do you think will win the Sekai Tekai tournament? Oh man. Well, honestly, I'm Team Miyagi-Do any day of the week. Cobra Kai may be big, but Miyagi-Do has heart.
Miyagi-Do Eagle Fang. We have to hyphen it because we're combining.
Miyagi-Do Eagle Fang, yeah. And Christian Rodriguez, is there going to be a season 6? I would, dude, they are making so much bank on this.
There's still a story to tell.
Not only are they confirming pretty much essentially season 6 is happening, Sony Studios also confirmed just this week they're in development of a brand new Karate Kid, which will be the continuation of it. So this will be Karate Kid 5 when it comes out. And so they also went on the record to say this is not going to be a reboot. This is going to be a continuation of the series with the current character. Maybe they'll be using, Ralph Macchio and William Zabka in their roles respectively from Cobra Kai. We don't know what the direction is they're going to take it.
Yeah.
But for Sony to sign on board and actually produce a film banked off of the notoriety of Cobra Kai, that says volumes to a film company. So we haven't seen the last of this.
So, boys, one last question about Tori. Do you think she's going to... obviously, she's going to be walking away from Cobra Kai. I feel like we kind of solidified that decision with her this season, especially with that new girl stepping in for the lead role there, and then Dallas Dupree's Kenny Payne coming in for the male role as the lead for Cobra Kai. So they're not going anywhere, obviously. Is Tori going to shift over to the Miyagi-Do Eagle Fang, or is she going to step away from the fight?
What if Robbie and Miguel create their own dojo?
Ooh.
A brand new dojo.
No, I don't see that happening.
You know?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't see that happening because of the close ties with the
Johnny.
Eagle Fang
Yeah.
clan. Yeah, Johnny specifically.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening. I do see Johnny's attitude towards fighting probably being a very big change with his new family dynamic that's coming in.
Yeah, I could see that happening actually. Spoiler alert! Johnny and his girl they got a bun in the oven.
They got a baby coming.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Baby Kai.
yeah, he went and procreated. Yeah. There's going to be a Johnny Lawrence II coming out soon.
Yes.
Which that's a
You
deep.
needed.
Go ahead.
I think you needed
That's
make Johnny chill out a little bit.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
humble
I
him.
think
Yeah.
you needed a way to humble him. Yeah, I think that was a unexpected twist, but that was a good way to make him just kind of like, okay, now I have to have
Relax.
more responsibility.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have to be a father,
Well,
and that I think is going to serve
I
serve
say
him well.
yes, but I reflect back to that last fight scene where he was about to die, getting the crap beat out of him, and
Yeah,
he had that
true.
ultrasound fall down on the floor, and he went full ham on literally
did.
every gigantic ninja in that house. So I don't know if that's going to be 100% accurate. I think it's going to ignite that fire even further, but just have maybe a little bit
Ooh,
more direction in the reason why he's doing it.
Interesting take. I like
Okay.
that.
Interesting.
I'd be curious to know. John Poffenbarger says, "I heard the new movie has nothing to do with the new series." So that's interesting. Who is your favorite character? I got to. You know what, Gabby? I'm going to answer that.
That's a good question.
My favorite character, I guess my VIP of season 5, since we're talking specifically about season 5, will be Chosen. I think he stole the show in many
so
scenes.
funny.
He was great. He had, I thought, very effective comedic relief when it was needed, and also too, he was literally a great sounding block for Daniel. Trying to bounce out what's the next move, which way do we go, and Chosen gave him such great advice, and almost like a Mr. Miyagi mentor type figure again back in Daniel's life. So for me, it's Chosen. He's definitely my VIP for this series.
Mine would be Robbie.
Love
I've
Robbie,
been
yeah.
Team Robbie since day one. I've always enjoyed his character and the way that they've introduced him, and his just development through all of the seasons is just, it just shines.
It's been spot on. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Just shines.
I agree. You got an
Austin?
You got a VIP MVP for the season, Austin?
Well, at first, I didn't love the way it wrapped up, but I was going Terry Silver the first few episodes. Just the menace behind it.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's
the
such a good
idea
bad guy.
Gnarly,
how
yeah.
good of a villain he was. But I'm also kind of on Joe's side. That dynamic between Chosen and Daniel LaRusso, that's what we needed this season. We needed that back and forth, that 1-2 punch to where if one person doesn't have the answer, he can rely on the other person to have the answer. And I love that. I think that's something that has to carry on, has to continue. Now that trio with Johnny in there, that's going to be a great dynamic next season.
Well, and
for
I think that Daniel needed that extra support that Chosen provided
Yes.
because of the lack of support from Amanda this season.
That's so good, Lindsay. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I feel like, and then obviously all four of them came together to kind of come up with a plan for Silver once Amanda saw the light of day. But yeah, there's definitely a huge role of support for Chosen being played, just, as a support character, as well as him being a huge standout all on his own too.
Mhm.
So it was really great to see that.
Well, let's
this
talk
season.
let's talk Stingray for a minute.
All right.
Okay, because
Let's go.
the one character, poor Daniel breaks his PS4, and he's like, he's in there trying to threaten Stingray to give me the details, and Chosen's like, this is not the way, Daniel. I think, just the fact that Terry kind of used him as leverage to, kind of infiltrate Miyagi-Do and figure out their way of doing things, and interesting character. You always got that one, I want to say, nerd in the seat character in any series that you talk. You always have that one geek moment, and for us, it's Stingray. But I love the fact
the D&D game.
was
just
that was
amazing.
amazing.
I loved that.
He's such a nerd, and I could see him being easily that character in like a Stranger Things episode or something. It's just the way he gels with the retro 80s vibe.
Yeah,
but
it kind of gave Dimitri a purpose too, beyond just the computer geek moment because he didn't really have a lot of other shining moments in this season.
No, but his big shining moment was actually when he was able to redeem himself and do the right thing against Terry Silver and tell Daniel and shows him, okay, I was paid off. This was all a sham. This is just a sham to get you to close your dojo, which you did. And then I think, honestly, that was kind of a nice little twist, using a character that's not in there as much, but one that kind of was that pivotal moment for Daniel to try to close his own dojo, essentially.
We also need to touch on Sam because she did have some growth, more inner growth than a lot of. She didn't have a ton of huge moments in this, but I feel like she had a lot of figuring out, what am I fighting for? Am I fighting for my dad or am I fighting for myself? Kind of internal reflection moment there. And it's like, should I quit? Should I not? All that. So what do you guys feel about that part of her being in the season?
Austin?
I thought that was a much needed kind of break from all of I feel like there's a lot of brutal, tense-filled moments, and then you kind of have this little character study over here, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. Anytime we would cut to her, we would get that little inner battle, dealing with those demons, and what do I do? And do I do it for myself, or do I do it to other people? So that was great, and I think these young actors, they get better every single season, and I'm thinking of her in particular, what she had to do was really great, and I think the performances, strictly the performances this season, are the best they've ever been, and they're going to keep getting better. So
agreed. Yeah. Season 6 of Cobra Kai. I can't wait. I mean, probably be about another year or so. Can't wait to see what they do. I mean, chat, what is your expectations? What would you like to see happen in season 6? Let us know. Leave a comment down below if you're watching on the live stream, or if you're picking us up on the recording of the podcast. Come on over to popxcast.com and drop us a comment, okay? But with all of that, I believe, we've got it out all on the table. I think this was
touched most things we did touch. I mean, even Eli wasn't a huge role. I mean, there was a couple of moments that he had, but he wasn't anything that I would. There
was a few characters that were kind of sidelined this season, I believe.
Yeah.
But I want to say that I wouldn't be shocked if in some way they bring back Hilary Swank's character. Because that's what they've been doing, right? They've been bringing
it's that missing piece that we need.
I think Julie Pierce, the hawk loving, get it, hawk, eagle fang. Remember, if you remember the next Karate Kid, she had the hawk up on the roof that she took care of that had the broken wing.
That's right.
Or no, it was an eagle. It was an eagle. Yes, it was an eagle. It wasn't a hawk. I remember it was a brown eagle. So I don't know. I'm just saying that would be kind of cool, right? To bring her eagle fang, yeah. But so what we got in the chat here, we've got Miguel and Sam get back together. Yep, I loved that part. We definitely spent some time on that one. But chat, guys, chat too? All of us collectively that were on the live stream, Lindsay, Austin, myself, we're all going to rate it right now, collectively as a group. So we're going to go through on stream, and while we're going through on stream, in the chat right now, show us your number, 1 to 100. What would it be? Like a 70, an 80, a 50, a 40? I don't know. And you can go 42, 43, 44, whatever. But Austin, Lindsay, we started with you on this one. Lindsay, what is your overall review of Cobra Kai Season 5?
For this season, Season 5, I'm going to give it just a solid 90, like a 9.0.
That's pretty dope. Wow. Okay.
It's a pretty powerful season. There was a lot that happened that they packed into these episodes. So I'm gonna set it right there.
That's solid. All right. Austin Burke.
Yeah, I wanted to get it to that 9. I think a couple of the shortcomings in the finale, but I'm still going an 88, man. Listen, can't go wrong with a little Cobra Kai, and this was a great season once again. Some epic moments, so 8.8 for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And before I give mine, Jeremy Stoltz says he's going to give it an 84. I'm going to go with Michael J. Fox's year that he broke out. I'm going to go with an 85%. I believe just a couple of those discrepancies in the story writing that were inconsistent, like the hype for Terry and then his quick demise within just minutes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I kind of felt that it could have been, kind of prolonged just a little bit more. And there was some continuity issues that I had. So that's why I'm not going to go full 90. What do we got here? Let's see. This Jeremy Stoltz, 84. Gabby gives it a 98 out of 100. Let's go, Gabby. Woo! All right. And Omar Holmes says, we love Cobra Kai. So, all right. Welcome, Omar, to the chat. It's so good to have you guys on board. Welcome to the stream, all the newcomers. Man, we have a plethora. Guys, if you're here and you're watching PopXcast for the first time, we are a clean podcast. We just talk about nerdy things. We talk about Netflix series, comic books, comic movies, superheroes, action movies, video games, you name it. We talk about it. If you like what you're hearing, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Click on that notification bell. So as we grow and we push out our next episode, you will get a notification. Hey, PopX is going live Sunday night, 9 o'clock Eastern. Let's tune in and check it out. Omar Holmes with 100 out of 100.
Let's go!
Nice. Omar. Did you see a Stranger Things Cobra Kai crossover? But an off-canon animated film? That'd be great. Season 5, I give it 100, says Carl Reed. Carl Reed in the house. Let's go.
Love it.
It's a good season.
Man, you guys are like lighting it up.
And usually, like season 5 is when things start declining because they start running out of things to tell stories about. But not here, man. They've definitely got it planned out for the long run.
See, they had a lot of source material in the first 4 films, and honestly, now that they have established characters with Miguel, Robbie, Sam, characters that were not in Cobra Kai, this series can go anywhere. I mean, they have the depth, they have the reach, they have the characters. That's all you need. You don't need no more cameos unless they bring in Julie Pierce. Well, you don't need much more. You got everything you need. Just roll with it, you know. So, guys, thanks so much for just giving your review, listen to us babble about one of our favorite little shows, Cobra Kai. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we've had the pleasure of reviewing almost every season of Cobra Kai.
Every single season, yeah.
So this is season 5, and so we are remaining consistent with Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai strong. Let's go. Not necessarily, maybe Miyagi-Do, but you know, you get what I'm saying. It'll be rebranded after Terry Silver, I'm sure. It's his thing. But with all of that said, guys, we're going to wrap this thing up. I hate to leave, man. I'm having such a blast. Austin Burke, are you ready to lead us out?
Yes, I am.
Lead us out.
I do have a little Paul Walter Hauser, the guy who plays Stingray. If you guys like him as an actor, there's another show called Blackbird on Apple Plus this year with Taron Egerton from the Kingsman movie. And Paul Walter Hauser plays a serial killer. And let me tell you, it is one of the best performances of the year. What? This guy might get an Emmy nomination. So that is Stingray, a dynamic actor. A very good actor. So go watch that Blackbird on Apple Plus. But I am Austin Burke. You guys can search me at the Burkinator and, of course, on YouTube, Austin Burke. We are part of the newly formed creative group known as the Creative Multiverse. For more great media content, artwork, and more, find us on Facebook groups and now Discord at the Creative Multiverse. If you guys are creative, produce content, or have a talent, we want to see it and would like for all of you guys to share it with us in the multiverse. And, of course, if you're part of the 20-something people in the chat right now and you haven't hit that subscribe button, let me tell you, there's some good stuff on this channel, some geeky stuff, some nerdy stuff. So hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, please, because you gotta know when we go live. So do it.
You gotta finish the trifecta with that thumbs up. You know it.
We gotta do
Come
this.
on now. Help that algorithm. We need it.
Let's go. Pump it up.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you guys, I am Lindsay Badger. You can find me at Badger Makes. I do art and all kinds of good, fun, crafty things over there. But if you want to connect with this podcast on social media, you can literally find us everywhere on the internet. The handle is PopXcast, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, and we even have an email if you like it doing it that way.
Old school.
PopXcast@gmail.com.
We don't have an address,
My
though.
grandma is going to start sending you emails.
We don't have an address, though. I mean, that's just like,
no address. I mean,
we have a web address, but we don't have an
the
address.
closest you get is popxcast.com, which you should totally go check out.
Indeed.
Because it has all of our future and past shows on our official website. Make sure you guys go and check out all of those places. Connect with us everywhere, please.
Absolutely. And again, to the chat for hanging out with us tonight. I mean, we have a host of just amazing people here. Like Austin said, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we are going to be coming back in a few weeks. I am Joseph Burke at Joseph Burke Arts all over the web. It's not too hard to find me. Just type my name in. And, of course, hats off to my amazing team, PopX. My cousin, Austin Burke, up in Lexington, Kentucky. Austin Burke, YouTuber. Check him out on YouTube. Just type in Austin Burke. He is certified film critic with the Critics' Choice Board and does all kinds of cool things and is an amazing YouTuber. Just got his 100,000 plaque a few months back. Thank you, man. That's awesome. What are you up to? Like 130 now? You're like 125, something like that?
Yeah, I think it's like I think I just hit 128 like yesterday or something, and it's
everyone's a celebration.
And I'm going to the New York Film Festival this week. So if you want some coverage for some crazy art house movies, be sure to follow me this week.
Austin Burke Film. Is it Austin Burke Reviews on TikTok? Isn't that what it is?
Yes. Austin Loves Movies on TikTok.
Austin Loves
and
Movies.
I will be doing a lot of little individual reviews this week for all the movies I see. So if you're interested in that, I might do some stupid stuff on there too.
I love this.
You gotta follow Austin on the Tic Tacs.
But we will see
We'll,
on the Tic Tacs. Got those Tic Tacs. But we'll see you next time when we come back on episode 146. We're going to be back in about 2 weeks or so. She-Hulk is scheduled for 9 episodes, so we want to do a full series review on the series. How are you liking She-Hulk? Be thinking about it. If you've not seen it, kind of maybe watch it and prepare. The episodes are only about 30 minutes a piece. Kind of funny, kind of interesting. I see where they're going. I'm interested to see if they're able to get we won't go that way. But, you know what I'm saying. It's going to be fun. So we're going to talk about, all of that great stuff in She-Hulk on episode 146. From all of us here at PopXcast, thanks for listening. Thanks for downloading. We'll see you next time. Stay nerdy, everybody. Take care. Have a great week. Goodbye. Thanks for being a part of the PopX family. If you liked our show, please visit our YouTube page. Be sure to click subscribe and tap the notification bell so you'll know when we go live next. Visit our Discord channel by clicking the QR code on screen during our live stream, or simply visit bit.ly/Creative Multiverse. Connect with us on social media by using @PopXcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.